yeah, the time has come for another Universal Studios Hollywood update covering the latest construction progress on Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, and of course, all the latest updates regarding Halloween Horror Nights 2025. And the weather is helping me out here because we got some gloomy weather this morning. It's been like on and off raining, very similar to Florida. It's really hot out right now. It's like 90 degrees, but we have some rain clouds rolling in and out. So this is awesome. Got some spooky vibes, perfect for HHN. Yeah, I can't wait to see everything inside the park. They've been decking everything out. Even King Kong is excited. And before we continue, hello everyone, my name is Dylan and thank you so much for tuning back in to another theme park obsession video. Yeah, it's all about Universal Studios Hollywood today, so let's not waste any more time here in CityWalk. We'll cover that a little bit later in today's video and dive right in. Okay, I've officially made it in the park and yeah, it is busy. It is Saturday at the time of making the video, so I mean, it's to be expected. And look at this over here at the Lemley Court. They're setting up for the Halloween Horror Nights bar. This has been a reoccurring thing for the past few years. It's pretty popular. You'll be able to pick up a lot of tasty cocktails behind me. And like I said in my previous video, for those that have been watching, I actually really like the cocktails here at Universal Studios Hollywood for this year's Halloween Horror Nights. There was only one that I didn't really care for, which was a gin drink, but all the other ones were pretty good. And look at this, the signage for the Purge Dangerous Water Show is up. Yeah, that's coming back this year, which is really cool. Actually, really enjoyed this show. And I'm also noticing a lot of show lighting is appearing on the tops of the buildings here in the front of the park. Yeah, there's two scare zones up here, one being Chainsaw Clowns and the other one being Carnival of Carnage. And look at this right here at the Universal Plaza. They have a lot of the decorations out for the Carnival of Carnage scare zone. Look at these amazing clowns. These are so cool. I'm so happy that the clowns are back upstairs and these versions of clowns too. These ones are like a little bit more scary and messed up, which I love. The more gnarly the clown, the better. And also you're noticing this all new fire tower rig. So the shipping containers are no more. It looks like they have an all new truss set up for the fire towers. Now over here at the former Walking Dead attraction, the signage for the Fallout haunted house has now been put up. The usual setup for the plaza has returned for this season of HHN. This is where you can pick up a few beverages, some tasty treats. Hopefully those birria tacos are over here. Those are always really good. And then look at this over here at Monstros 3. They've taken down the construction fences, revealing the facade. And man, oh man, just like the previous couple of years, it is looking absolutely gorgeous. Shout out to the crews that put all this stuff together because, yeah, I mean, this is stunning. And it seems like this part of the cemetery is super compact. I mean, look at how close the graves are to each other. That's awesome. Because, you know, really, this is how something like this would look in real life. Especially when I went to New Orleans, we visited some of those grave sites out there, and literally this is how close some of the graves are to each other. It's just, they're just stacked on top of each other, and it's pretty cool. So I'm glad that they utilize that kind of design language in this facade. It looks great. Over here on French Street, they have a lot of the decorations out for the Witches Scare Zone for this season's HHN. Everything here is looking fantastic too, and I was able to see it in the evening when I was here for a little media event when they were showcasing the food and beverage. And yeah, I gotta say, it looks fantastic at night too. Now over here at Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, everything's kind of looking the same. Nothing too different to report on. I would assume all the work is happening on the inside of the show building. I would hope that they have the HVAC hooked up so the workers inside are at least staying cool. Yeah, I don't see any construction workers here on the outside of the layout. It is the weekend, so some people might be taking the day off. And then as far as the facade of the building is concerned, it looks like they've finished up that beautiful mural that's on the front. And if you look a little closely towards this side, you can see they've put up some steel for the marquee entrance signage. So that'll be cool once we see that pop up. But yeah, overall things are looking pretty good and I cannot wait for the testing phase. We're getting that much closer to it, and of course, getting that much closer to the grand opening of this all-new roller coaster here at Universal Studios Hollywood. Oh, and look at this. We have some new trees that have shown up here in the front, just like the concept art. So that's pretty cool. We love to see new trees. Now, even though the palm trees are really nice, I do hope there are some other trees that are in the pipeline, because before, if you remember, there was a bunch of trees in this area, and we need the shade in this corner of the park. So here's to hoping that some new trees will continue to roll in that are a little bit smaller than the palm trees. Now, I won't be going on the studio tour, but I wanted to come over here to show you what they've done to the studio tour plaza area. Look at this. They have some new decorations out for Halloween Horror Nights. And this is going to be like a little mini scare zone over here, which is sick. I cannot wait to see this with all of the show lighting going, and I can't wait to hear what kind of music they have in store. Clearly, we got some hillbilly action going on, and you know what? I love to see that too. We love hillbillies and crazy people, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, these are great. You know what's funny? These are actually modeled after me. If you're wondering what I look like in the morning, especially when I haven't eaten anything, this is pretty much what I look like. So I'm really glad they used my likeness for this particular scare zone. That's awesome. And another thing I'm noticing with this scare zone is they have these big giant camo pieces out, but if you look closely, they have some handles on them. So I'm wondering if they're gonna make a little mini gauntlet in here. They probably fold in, and that's why we're seeing them like this. And then during the event, they'll like fold them, you know, they'll pull them out to create like a little maze structure. Now that would be awesome, because I love gauntlets. I actually worked one of the gauntlets in 2016. I was one of the chainsaw performers in the Purge gauntlet that was in the plaza. So maybe we're gonna see something very similar, but with the Hellbillies scare zone here. Now moving back to Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, here's your look at the outdoor queue section. You can see that they've finished up that brick on the outside of the wall here, and they've put up some more steel beams for what I'm assuming will be a shade structure. At least I hope that's what they're gonna be doing. And then we have 2 new palm trees that have shown up. And then if you look off in the distance, let's see if I can get a better shot here. It's kind of hard with all the poles, but it looks like some queue props are starting to show up. And I'm thinking the queue, the outdoor queue and the indoor queue will look very similar to what they have over at Universal Studios Florida. So if you've ever done Fast and the Furious over there and you've walked through the queue, it's probably gonna be the same for this too, which, you know, makes sense. This looks to be a garage, and it's a garage over in Florida. So maybe they got the same kind of idea where we're going to see a few different cars parked and other garage props kind of scattered about. And I wouldn't be shocked if they reuse some of the props from the Fast and the Furious supercharged tram finale here at Universal Studios Hollywood. So I'll be keeping an eye on all this. But as far as anything else, yeah, I'm not really noticing anything else here on the coaster. It's looking the same. Now look at this. We have a little update on the turnaround over here, over the escalator for Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. They've installed a few more support columns for these scream shields that will go around the track. So in the concept art, they have these giant scream shields that look very similar to the ones, to the panels that are over the escalators. And they're gonna put these around the track so they can help with the sound. Because remember, Universal Studios Hollywood is an active studio, and they gotta keep things a little quiet around here. And when you build a giant roller coaster, yeah, you're gonna get people screaming and yelling. So they're building these massive shields that go around certain areas of the track, and yeah, we're finally seeing more pieces show up from the manufacturer. Now moving on to the retaining wall project, it looks to be done. So hey, shout out to the crews that were working on this. That did not take them that long at all. That was extremely fast, and now they have a nice fresh area for Halloween Horror Nights queue, because that's exactly what this is gonna be used for. You could just already see it, that there's gonna be a massive queue down there for the Jason haunted house. And they're gonna probably fill up that entire thing. And I'll be standing in it because Jason is one of my favorite horror characters. So yeah, you know, I'm gonna have to pay him a visit. And then yeah, over here on this side, concrete work is done. And then we have all new plants that have been planted. So hopefully in the next couple of years, this hillside will once again be nice and lush. This really is a large space. It doesn't look really big on camera, but when you're here in person, I mean, it's massive. You could stick 2 Halloween Horror Nights haunted houses down here. You can throw a big giant block party down here. I mean, you could do some sort of showcase, and I have a feeling that's what they're gonna use this for. So then that way they don't have to utilize some of the sound stages, because remember, some of the sound stages are often used for film and television, but they also might have bigger plans for this section of the lower lot that they need to take care of. So in order to keep Halloween Horror Nights and all the seasonal stuff going, well, where do you put all that stuff? Well, let's just cut into the hill and put it right there. And yeah, I think that's what's going on. Now down here in the lower lot, they have the Slash Bar marquee sign all set up. It looks like a giant record, which is cool. And this is where you're gonna obviously pick up some beverages, but also some tasty treats. I did try the Slash cake at the media event the other day, and that was actually really good. Just be careful of the black food coloring they use on the cake. It might stain your clothes, but I mean, hey, I feel like it's kind of worth it just because the cake was actually really good. And also here in the lower lot, they have the Jason Universe barbecue all set up and ready to go. This is where I'm assuming you'll be able to get that massive hot dog. I mean, the hot dog is literally the size of this building. So be warned, it's pretty crazy. For those that can conquer it by themselves, I mean, shout out to you. You should win an award if you're able to eat that all by yourself. Okay, I've made it back upstairs from the lower lot and into the Universal Studios store to get a break from the heat. It is so hot, OMG. It's probably like 100 degrees out right now. And we're having like this monsoonal kind of weather going on, so it feels like Florida, which, I mean, hey, I guess I gotta get used to because eventually I will be living in Florida. It'll be my new home. But it is nice to get a break from that heat and check out what's going on with the merch, which, as you can see, they have not set the Halloween Horror Nights merchandise just yet. That's probably gonna happen sometime next week, because at the time of making this video, we're about 2 weeks out. So for right now, they just have some of this preview merchandise available. So they got the Jason t-shirt and the mugs and the Fallout stuff. Ooh, look, and we have some Five Nights at Freddy's hats. But yeah, I think the rest of it's gonna show up sometime next week. So I will be back for one more Halloween Horror Nights construction update and just update in general, because yeah, everything opens up, and that's when we'll cover the merch and see what they got going on. Okay, we've made it out of the theme park, but next up is CityWalk, so let's just get started with that. Okay, so here's what's going on with CityWalk. First up, the former Popcornopolis location is now a Universal Popcorn location. So inside you'll be able to pick up some Universal Studios Hollywood popcorn buckets and grab some popcorn while you're in there. I believe they have 2 flavors right now, and I'm sure over time they'll add more flavors. And then when it comes to the NBA store, well, it's finally open. So if you're a fan of basketball, well, they got you covered at that store because the floor space is pretty massive. They did a really good job with the interior, and they have everything from jerseys to hats to basketballs to jewelry, all that kind of fun stuff. They have it all in the new NBA store. When it comes to Raising Cane's, yeah, a lot of heavy work happening over there, so I can only imagine what the inside is looking like. And I'm sure their opening time frame is sometime in September. I have a feeling that they want to get this location open for Halloween Horror Nights. And speaking of Halloween Horror Nights, Production Central across from Toothsome's Chocolate Emporium is all decked out for HHN. They have a bunch of stuff that I saw the other day at the merch and food preview that Universal invited me out to. So they have Five Nights at Freddy's jackets, they have Blumhouse stuff, they have Fallout stuff, and of course they have a bunch of Art the Clown merchandise. And just like I was saying earlier, I think a lot of merchandise will appear at Universal Studios Hollywood here in the next couple days leading up to the grand opening of Halloween Horror Nights. I feel like this is just the first store that they threw stuff in because it's a lot smaller and it's easier for them to set. But yeah, they got you covered at Production Central for HHN. And with that, I made it back to the parking structure. I think that is going to do it for today's Universal Studios update, covering some of the construction going on with Fast and the Furious, and of course, Halloween Horror Nights. Super exciting stuff. Things are going to be opening up here very, very soon. The scare zones up front look fantastic, and the scare zone over on French Street looks really good. The coaster is looking great, and I'm glad that they're moving along quickly with the new support structure that's going to hold up those scream shields. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, you can let me know by smashing the thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel and you love these updates from Universal Studios Hollywood or some of your other favorite theme parks, well, you should consider subscribing because I have brand new videos every single week that you won't want to miss out on. I have an Instagram account and X account. Those links will be down below in the description. But until the next video, I hope you have a beautiful day, morning, evening, whatever it is. I'll see you next time in the parks. Bye.